Hey everyone, welcome back to Code with Poonam. This is day 70 of our 100 days of coding challenge in JavaScript. Today's challenge is all about string manipulation. Here we have to replace the middle elements of a string. So let's proceed with this challenge and we will move towards our VS Code. If we see in the VS Code, we have here our question along with the sample input and output, right? So let us read out the question. What is the question? We have to write a JavaScript function to replace the middle elements of a string with a star. And if the string length is even, we will have to replace the two middle elements with a star, right? And here we have our input and we have output as well, okay? Now let us come down and first of all, we are going to break down this particular question, okay? So what we have to write? We have to write here what? JavaScript function, right? So I will come here and I will write here what? JavaScript function, okay? Now, what is the next important part here? That we have to replace the middle element of a string with asterisk or with star, right? So let us come here and we will put here that. Now, after that, one more thing is written here. If the string length is even, then we will have to replace the two middle elements with asterisk or the star. So let us come here and that also put it over here. Now, since we have to replace the middle elements, okay, so we will come here and we will define our function name as what? Replace middle element. So let us come here and I will put it over here and we will make this M capital and we will make this our E capital and we will remove this space, okay, and I will remove this the also, okay. So let us remove it. So this will be our function name, okay. Now let us understand our input and output, okay. So what is the first input? It is hello. What is the second input? Words, okay. First of all, I am going to calculate the string length because they said at line number 2 something about the length of the string, right? So we will come here and we will count the characters and we will get the length of it. So if you count it, HELLO, how many it is? 5 characters, right? So I will write here what? 5. The length will be 5. Okay. Now if you come down, it is word. So how many characters we have in that? You can see clearly, right? 6 characters we have. So length will be how much? It is 6, right? Now 6 number is an even number. So I will write here what? Even. Okay. And 5 is what? It is odd number. So I will just write here odd. Why I am writing even? Because they said, right, if the string length is even, okay, after that what they said, replace the two middle elements with asterisk or star. So that means here two middle elements means two characters we have to replace it with asterisk, right? So there will be two asterisks. So I will just write here what? Two asterisk, okay? Other than they said, you have to replace the middle element of a string with a one asterisk. So here we will write here what? One asterisk, okay? Now we will see our output, okay? If you see the output, here we have one asterisk, here we have two asterisk, right? That means whatever we have written here, it is correctly specifying the output, right? Now, let us go to our input and see where to put this asterisk, okay? So if you see HELLO, which one is the middle element? You can easily make out, right? The third character is your middle element for this. So that is why you have here one asterisk, okay? But when it comes to the words, okay, it is a length is what? Even, right? Now you cannot get here one middle element. You will have here two middle elements, okay? That means R and L will be the two characters which will be the middle of the words, right? That is why you have here two asterisk, okay? And this is how we are reaching to the output. So what it is, wherever there is a single middle element, that means the number will be what? Odd, right? So number means our length will be odd. So therefore you will get here one asterisk, and wherever the number, that means our length will be 6. That means it will be even. You will have here two asterisk, and two asterisk where you have to replace this asterisk, you will have to replace it against the character in the string at a middle element place, okay? So you will have to go and you will have to check out the middle element and you will have to replace that character with an asterisk, and that is where you will get your final output, okay? Now for this we will come down and we will understand our approach, how we are going to do it, okay? So I will just write here what? Approach, okay? Now, in this question, we will be first using a split method, okay? Why split method? Because it will easily convert this string into an array. So, I will write here what? Split, okay? And that too without a space, we are going to do it. So, it will convert into an array. So, now if I take this particular string, so let me take this particular string. So, what will happen to the string now? What will be the output? I will get here H, then I will get here what E, then I will get here what L, and then I will get here again as L, and then again I will get here what O. This will be the output after you use your split method on this, and that too without a space you are going to do it. Okay. Now we know that we have to replace the middle element, right? That means we have to replace here. That means we will have to find out the middle index, correct? So first we will have to get the middle index, then only you can replace that particular index place with your asterisk, right? So we have to find out now, since it is an array, we can directly get the length, right? So what we will do, we will come here and we will get the length. Assuming this we are storing into an ARR, okay? So I will write here what ARR dot length, okay? And what will be the length? It is easy, right? It is 5, correct? So I'm writing here 5. Now, if I want to get the middle, what I have to do? I will have to divide by 2, right? So what I will get now? I will get here 2.5. But 2.5 is not an index number, right? I cannot get the index number as 2.5. Either it can be 2 or either it can be 3. It cannot be 2.5, right? And in this, if you see, if you are using 3, then it will be wrong, right? Because 0, 1, 2 and 3. 3 will come here. So that means we cannot use the round up values. We will have to use round down values, okay? That means I need the output as 2, correct? That is where it will be the middle element. Let us test this out. 0, 1 and 2. So L will be your middle element. So this means for this input, we have to get here 2. So how we can get 2 now? I will be using here what? Math.floor method. We have used this in our previous challenges as well, okay? So what does this Math.floor is going to do? It will return the largest integer less than or equal to the given number. So if you pass here 2.5, it will round down. I have told you, right? Floor, where is the floor? It is down. So it is going to round down. So 2.5 will become here what? 2. And that is where we will get here 2 and we will be using this and we will be replacing it out, okay? Now here you are getting 2 index number, right? And then easily you can replace this L now with our asterisk. So suppose you are storing this into a num, okay? So what you are going to do? You will write here what? ARR of num, right? You will write it like this and it will be nothing but the star. That is what you are going to do and you are going to get your final output also. So when you are checking your array, it will be no longer this hello. It will be what? It will update this place as asterisk, okay, or a star. So this will be your output. So this will be the case when your string length is odd. What will happen when it is even? So this we are going to do it when it is odd, right? So I will write here odd. Now when it is even, there will be a slight change, okay? Now we know when it is even, there are 2 middle elements. When it was odd, there was only how much middle element? I will just take this middle element from here and I'll write here what? When it is odd, we have 1 middle element, and when it is even, we have how many middle elements? 2 middle elements, okay? So now definitely we have to do the same logic, okay? So I am going to take the same logic, but for even our input is changed, right? So what is our input? It is world. So let us take this world, okay? So I will take this world here and I will put it over here. Now on this world, I have to use a split method and I will have to get the length of it, okay? So I will be splitting out without a space. So how it will be done then? I will write here what? Worlds dot split without space, right? And then what will be the output here? I am going to get inside this array. I will have here W. Then I will have here O. then I will have here what R, then I will have here what L, then I will have here what D, and then I will have here what S. So this will be our resultant array after using a split method, okay? Now we will come here and we will get the length of it, okay? So I will write here what ARR dot length, assuming that I am storing this inside an array, okay? So I will write here what ARR dot length, okay? So I will write here dot length. And what will be the length? I will get 6 because we can see, right? 3, 4, 5 and 6. So it is 6, right? So if you now divide by 2, because we want to get the middle element, right? So I will divide by 2. So it will be 6 divided by 2. So I will get here what? 3, okay? So I will write here 3. If you see, we are getting here 3. That is our out. If you see, we are getting here 3. That is nothing but a index number, right? And that is the whole number we are getting. So that is why we are not going to use here Math.floor. Here, why did we use? Because here we were not getting a whole number. We were getting into decimal, right? So to convert into a whole number, we used Math.floor, right? And why only Math.floor? Because we wanted to target to a correct index number, correct? That is where we have used here Math.floor. But here we are not going to do that, okay? And here we stored this everything inside our num itself, right? So here also let us come and store it inside our num itself, okay? So now what we will do here is we will do direct assignment, okay? So I will write here what ARR of num itself is equal to asterisk, okay? So then what will be the resultant after this? If you take this particular array and if I put it over here and I replace at a third index. So where is third? 0, 1, 2 and 3. So your L will be third index. So I will write here what? Asterisk. So this will be our output. But if you see, we have the output like this, right? 2 asterisks are there. One we have achieved it, one more we have to achieve it, right? So for that, we will use a simple mathematics logic. What we will do, I will write here ARR of num minus 1. If I use num minus 1, I will be decreasing by 1, right? So I will write here what is equal to asterisk, okay? When I write num minus 1, I am decreasing by 1. So our index number will be not 3 here, but it will be 2, right? And if you take this particular output of this and if you put it over here, your R will get replaced with what? Here also asterisk. So that is where you will get your final output, okay? We have reached to the output, but if you see, the resultant is in a string, right? And we have here what? We have here array. So we can use here which method then? Our join method, right? So I will be using here our join method without a space, okay? And on this array, if you use it, it is going to convert back into a string with whatever the modified resultant you have. So finally for hello, you will be getting this, okay? And for your worlds, you will be getting this, okay? So this is what we are going to do it, okay? But now this also we have to do it in a conditional way, okay? So that is where we have to use here our if condition, okay? So before reaching to this particular output, we understood how we are going to do it. We know even and odd, right? So we will have to below. Now we understood that how to reach to this particular output, right? But one thing we have left out to do here. What is that? We know that we have to get our even and odd, right? So here, after doing a split, okay, and after calculating this length, so we will come here and what we will do, once you calculate your length, because both of the length will be calculated at one place itself, right? So we will be coming here and we will be checking that length is even or odd. So I will use here what? Our if condition to do that, okay? And in that condition, we are going to write here what? If our ARR dot length is completely divisible by 2, that means then only it will be a even, right? So we will come here and in this, we will write here what? If it is even, you perform this particular logic, okay? That means this logic, okay? So this we are going to write it here. If it is even, we have to write it here. Else we will write, and inside that we are going to write this particular logic. So inside else we are going to write this particular logic. Okay. So if it is even, you write this, and if it is odd, you please write this. So this will be our final logic. We are going to write it. So in this, we have to use a split method. We have to use a length property. We will have to use our math method, that is Math.floor, to convert it into a whole number, right? Then we have to use your if condition also. We will have to use your join method also. So let us come down and we will implement the same thing inside our function. Okay. So we will write here what? Function, and our function name will be what? Replace middle element, right? And we will invoke it down. Okay. So let us invoke it here, middle element, and we will pass our first input array. Okay. That is our hello. Okay. Let us take this and we will put it over here. Okay. And let us receive it here. So I will write here what? str. Okay. Now let us just console it out. So I will write here console.log str. Okay. Let us write here what? Node and day 70 challenge. We will hit enter. What do we got? We got here hello. Now let us invoke it with the another string also. So I will write here what? Replace middle element, and what is the another string we have? That is nothing but words. So let us take this words and let us put it over here. Okay. Now let us save it and rerun it. So I will write here what? Node day 70 challenge, and we will hit enter. If you see, we got here our both the inputs, right? Now first thing was what? We have to split them up, right? That is why I have taken both our inputs together. So whatever we are doing it, we can see the transition for both of them. Okay. Now let us come here and declare a variable called as a ARR. That is nothing but we are storing inside an array. So I will write here what? str.split I will write, and without a space I have to write here, and let us console it. So I will write here what? Console.log ARR. Okay. And let us come here and clear the terminal and rerun it. So I will write here node day 70 challenge, and we will hit enter. So if you see, we have successfully converted into an array, right? Now let us come here and we will declare a variable called as a num, and we will store here our middle index number. Okay. So how can we do that? We can write here what? ARR.length divided by 2. Correct. That is what we have done here. So if you see, we are storing here as well number, here as well number, right? And now let us see what do we get. So I will write here what? Console.log of num, right? Let us see what do we get. So let us run it here. Node day 70 challenge and hit enter. I got here 2.5 and 3, right? So let us see here the same thing we have got here also. 2.5 I got, and here I got 3, correct? So that is what we are getting here. Okay. Now here we have to first check now for even or odd, right? So we will write here what? Our if condition. I said, right, whatever we have done this calculations, we are going to do it, but inside our if and else statement, right? So if it is found even, we will have to do this logic. If it is found odd, we will have to do this logic. So we will write here what? If our ARR.length modulus of 2 is equal to 0, correct? That is where if the remainder is 0, that means it is a even length string, right? So what we will do here is we will write this logic. If it is, then ARR of num is equal to 1 asterisk, correct? And if then, what is the next thing? ARR of num minus 1, one more asterisk, correct? That is what we have to do here. Now, what we will do after this, we will come here outside this and we will console our array itself. So I will write here what? Console.log array. What do we get? Let us see. So we will clear the terminal and we will rerun it. So I will write here what? Node day 70 challenge and hit enter. What do you got? See, for world you are getting it, But for hello, you are not getting it because it is not satisfying this condition. So we will have to write here what else statement. And what it is here, we will have to do first our math.floor, if you remember. Okay. So we have to first pass it and convert it, and then we will have to replace it. Okay. So we will come here, and what we will do, we will write here what let us write here let. Okay. And I will write here what new num, let us write. Okay. Because already num is declared. So I will write here what new num. Okay. And then I will write here what math.floor. Okay. And we will pass our num to this. Okay. And then what we are going to do, arr dot new num I will write, and I will write here single asterisk. Okay. Now let us come and test it in the terminal. So I will clear it out, and I will write here what node day 70 challenge. And if you see now, for hello also you are getting the asterisk, that means star. So one star you are getting, and it is properly getting replaced. So the same thing we have done here, okay, if you see. But the only thing is I have used here a different variable name, okay. Here I have done new num, okay. And if you see, we are assigning 2 times asterisk, here also 2 times asterisk, and here only 1 time. And here also we are doing only 1 time, right? So that is what we have done. So we converted and then we did it, okay. So that is what we have done. And if you see, we have got here, but this is not the final output. So first of all, what I will do, I will just remove this and this also. So we will have only our output. Okay. So I will write here what node day 70 challenge. And if you hit enter, you got here 2.5, and this is the hello. This is 3, and this is the worlds. Okay. Now let us come here, and in this we are going to use our join also, right? So I will write here what dot join, because we want to get it in a string, right? So I will put it without a space. And this line also, let us comment line number 40. So let us come here, clear the terminal and rerun it. So node day 70 challenge, and we will hit enter. Okay. So what do you got? You got your hello and worlds as the output we wanted. Okay. So that is what we have got it. So this was our final result. And if you want, you can improvise this as well. So you can come here and you can see what is our input output question. Now let us print it as it is. Okay. So we will take this. Okay. Input and hello. Let us take it as it is, and let us pass it inside our template literal. Okay. Like this. Now we know this hello is nothing but our input string, right? So I will write here what str. Now let us see what do we get here. So let us clear the terminal, and I will write here what node day 70 challenge. And if you hit enter, you are getting hello, then arrow, then output, colon, and your hello and your words. So you are getting properly as it is, if you see. So today we have printed as our input and output is here, right? With an arrow, with an colon, with an asterisk, everything is coming as it is. So this is our final resultant, okay? Now let us have a quick recap of this question. So let us come above and we will read out the question. So we have to write a JS function to replace the middle element of a string with an asterisk. And if the string length is even, we will have to replace the 2 elements with asterisk, right? That is what we have done, okay? Now at line number 5 and 6, we have been provided with an input and output, and we understood here which one is our even length and which one is our odd length, and therefore how many elements will be replaced with the asterisk. So at line number 5 we have your odd length, that is why 1 asterisk, and at line number 6 we have 6 as a length, that is where it is even, and we will have to put here 2 asterisk, right? So at line number 8, 9 and 10 we understood the question and we broke down our question, right? And we defined our function name as what? Replace middle element. Then at line number 9 we wrote our approach, right? What was it? That we have to use here what? Split method. What does it do? It converts the string into an array of characters, right? That is what we have done. So we split it and we converted into an array, right? Then we understood that if it is a odd, then how we are going to replace the middle element, right? And if it is even, how we are going to replace the middle element? So for odd, we have to use here what? Math.floor, correct? And for even, we will have to do our basic math, right? So what we did, ARR of num is equal to asterisk, and then we decreased the index number by 1, and we again updated as asterisk, and that is where we got here 2 asterisk in this. And here, by using the Math.floor, we were reaching to the correct index number, right? And that is where we updated as 1 asterisk in the particular input. Then after that, our output was in a string, right? So we used a join method and we brought back into our string. Okay, then at line number 27, we wrote if condition. Why we have written if condition? Because we have to first find out, right, whether it is even or odd. For that, we will have to pass a condition to check for an even. So if it is an even, we are going to do these things, right? And if it is odd, this assignment we are going to do. The assignment I already explained above, right? So just that we have put here, correct? That is what we did. So the same approach we wrote inside our function also, right? Then at line number 35, we wrote our function and we were receiving str as in params, right? Then we consoled here our str and we tested whether it is properly running or not, right? Then we used here our split method. We consoled our array also. Then we calculated here our middle element, right? And we stored inside our num variable, correct? Then we wrote here condition to check whether a number is even or not. So what was the condition? ARR dot length modulus of 2 is equal to 0. That means if the remainder is 0, it is an even number, correct? And that is where we did here what? Assignment, right? So first we did it with directly with the index number, that is our num is equal to asterisk, and then we decreased it by 1 so that we can get here one more asterisk to the previous element. So we updated here very correctly the 2 middle element as an asterisk, right? Then inside our else also what we did, we used our Math.floor, correct? And we passed that num here and we converted into a whole number, right? And then we also updated here 1 asterisk, right? That is where we are using here assignment operator. At line number 49, we printed our updated array, but our output was in a string. So that is where we used a join method, right? And also we improvised our console.log statement. So whatever was written at line number 5 and 6, same we printed in the output, right? So that is what we have done here. So at line number 52 and 53, we invoked this 2 times with the input provided to us, right? And that is what we got here, exact output. Let us come here and we will invoke it one more time. And I will write here what? Coding, okay? So this is the string I am passing, okay? Let us come here and we will clear the terminal and rerun it, okay? So day 70 I will write and we will hit enter, okay? So what do you got? Here you got 2 asterisk. That means the length of the string is what? Even number. That is why you are getting 2 asterisk. So there are 2 middle elements. If you see, it is correct, right? And the rest others are working as it is, okay? So that is what we have to do and we have achieved the output successfully, right? So now I will tell you why this challenge is useful. This challenge helps us to improve the string manipulation and understanding of the array-based operation. It's particularly useful for developing the indexing skills and solving real-world string transformation problems. And that's all for today, guys. Try this challenge with different input strings and share your solution in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with more coding challenges. So till then, keep coding, keep growing, keep practicing, and keep challenging yourself. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.